All right, so today let's look into something pretty interesting. I think we're going deep into Gaithersburg real estate,
Okay.
but not, like through the usual market data or anything dry like that. We're looking at a YouTube testimonial
Mm.
from a homeowner, and it's really got me thinking, maybe we've all been approaching selling our homes the wrong way.
Yeah, I know what you mean. There's
Mhm.
there's something about this story, this human element to it
Right?
that you don't really get from, those market reports and things.
It's still,
It's a nice perspective.
it really is. In this homeowner, they sold their house in one day.
Wow.
And for over asking price?
Oh, wow.
I mean, that's impressive anywhere, but especially in Gaithersburg,
Right.
makes you wonder what they did differently.
Yeah, that kind of speed and, getting that premium in this market, it definitely suggests, they had a really, really well-executed strategy.
Oh, okay.
It reminds me of a point we've talked about before.
Yeah.
So many sellers, they only focus on the price.
Right.
But they forget about, how they're presenting the property,
Hmm.
how they're marketing it, and that could be a big mistake.
So it's not just about market conditions then.
Right.
Maybe it's about attracting the right buyer
Exactly.
with the right approach.
Yeah, think about this homeowner. They lived there for over 20 years,
Wow.
which is a long time.
Yeah. Especially today.
Yeah, in today's market where people move around so much,
Right.
a lot of buyers, I think, would look at that and see that's a good sign.
Yeah.
It's a well-loved home. It's a stable home.
It's like the homeowner's history with the house becomes a selling point itself.
Right.
Yeah. Like a built-in endorsement or something.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And another thing that caught my eye was that the pre-listing repairs,
Oh, yeah.
that list was so short.
Huh?
The homeowner even said they were surprised
Wow.
by how little needed fixing.
Hmm.
It makes me think, do we just get so used to our own homes
Oh, yeah.
that we don't see the things that could turn off a buyer?
Yeah, totally. It's like, that nose blind thing.
Right.
But for houses and those little things, they can make a big difference.
Especially in a competitive market.
Oh, absolutely, buyers. They're making these quick decisions,
Oh, right.
often based on, their gut feeling.
Yeah.
So just a few small repairs,
Uh-huh.
maybe a new coat of paint,
Right.
cluttering it can totally change a buyer's first impression.
And ultimately, their offer.
Exactly.
So it's almost like pre-listing prep is about presenting like the best version of your house.
Right.
Not necessarily making it perfect.
Exactly.
And here's where things get even more interesting.
Okay.
This homeowner, they conveyed a lot of items with the house.
Huh.
They were even offering them to people during tours.
Wow. That's not something you see very often.
Right.
I think that could be a really smart move when you're negotiating.
Okay.
It helps the seller declutter,
Yeah.
adds value for the buyer. It's a win-win.
Right.
But I think more than that, it also makes it more appealing emotionally. Imagine, you walk through a house and they say, oh, yeah, you can have this dining set. This is where we had all of our family holidays.
Wow.
It's not just furniture anymore. It's like it's part of the story.
Right.
It's a connection to the past.
It really transforms the house into a home.
Yeah. And I bet that helped make that, painless experience the homeowner was talking about.
It does sound very seamless.
It just shows how important staging and presentation are,
Uh-huh.
By offering those items, it helps the buyer see themselves living there.
Right.
Takes away the stress of having to buy all new furniture.
Right. Like it's move-in ready.
Yeah, exactly.
But hold on. It wasn't all perfect.
Oh.
Remember that whole thing with the trust documentation?
Oh.
Yeah, all that back and forth with the title company and the lender.
Yeah, the lawyers.
Ugh, what a headache.
I bet.
It just makes you realize, even when everything seems perfect,
Right.
real estate can still get complicated.
Oh, it definitely can.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that, even with the best prep and a great agent, you
Yeah.
never know what's going to happen.
Right. So you really need to have a good team.
Yeah, you need people who know how to deal with those things.
And who can help you when things get tricky.
Exactly. And, speaking of agents,
Yeah.
I noticed this homeowner really liked their agent.
They did.
It sounds like the agent was a big part of why everything went so well.
That's another key takeaway for sure.
A good agent can be so valuable.
For sure.
They can help with everything from, setting the price and marketing
Uh-huh.
to negotiating and closing the deal.
Right. You need to find an agent who you trust.
Absolutely. And who really understands what you need.
It sounds like this homeowner had a great one.
They did.
And even with that paperwork issue, the homeowner still said the whole experience was painless.
Really?
That's not something you usually hear when people sell their houses.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Is there a secret formula to making it go this smoothly?
Yeah, is this something we can all replicate?
Well, there's no magic solution or anything, but I think this story shows how important a few things are.
Okay.
Strategic preparation,
Mm-hmm.
a good marketing plan,
Yeah.
a skilled agent,
Hmm.
and maybe a little bit of luck.
Yeah.
It also shows how important the emotional side of real estate can be.
What do you mean?
Buyers aren't just looking at square footage or how many bedrooms there are.
Right.
They're looking for a place where they can feel at home.
That's really insightful.
And it seems like this homeowner really understood that.
Yeah.
They knew how to connect with buyers on that level.
And that's ultimately what led to the quick sale.
Exactly. They presented this, well-maintained, move-in ready house,
Hmm.
but there was also a story there.
Yeah.
And by adding those personal touches, they created something unique,
Okay.
something that the right buyer was really looking for.
That's definitely something to think about, for anyone thinking of selling their house.
Absolutely. You have to think beyond just the numbers
Yeah.
and consider what kind of feeling you're offering buyers.
Okay. Let's take a quick break, and when we come back,
Sounds good.
we'll go deeper into some of these strategies this homeowner used
Okay.
and how maybe you can use them on your own real estate journey.
Looking forward to it.
So we saw that this homeowner in Gaithersburg, they did some things differently, and it worked out really well for them.
It did.
But let's look closer at some of those strategies.
Okay.
What really stood out to you as being effective?
Well, one thing that I thought was really impressive was how they prepped the house before listing it.
Okay.
Remember how they were surprised by how few repairs they needed?
Yeah.
That shows they were taking good care of the house all along,
Right.
which is a huge plus when you want to sell.
It's like they were getting ready to sell without even realizing it.
Exactly.
Do you think most people don't think about that enough?
I think it's easy to get busy and let those little things go,
Yeah.
but they add up,
Right.
and they can definitely change how a buyer sees the house.
So what kind of things should people do before they list their house?
It's all about making the house look like someone could move right in.
Okay.
Start with the basics, fresh paint,
Uh-huh.
get rid of clutter, a deep clean,
Right.
and then focus on those little details that can make a big difference.
Oh, like what?
Maybe updating the lights,
Okay.
fixing any leaks,
Yeah.
making sure all the appliances are working.
So it's about making the house look nice,
Right.
but without spending a ton of money on upgrades.
Yeah, exactly. You don't need to completely redo everything,
Okay.
but you want buyers to see that you've been taking care of the place.
Because there are other houses they could buy.
Exactly. And doing a little bit of work can make your house stand out.
What about staging?
Oh, yeah.
We talked about how this homeowner gave some of their stuff to the buyer,
Right.
but how important is it to stage the rest of the house?
Staging can be really helpful,
Right.
especially because it helps buyers imagine living there.
Okay.
It's about making them feel something.
So think about what's special about the house.
Yeah.
Like maybe a fireplace
Yeah.
or a big kitchen,
Huh?
a nice backyard.
You want to show off the best parts.
So it's more than just making it look pretty.
Yeah, it's about showing what the house could be like as a home.
And a good stager can help with that.
Absolutely. They can help arrange furniture and things,
Yeah.
add decorations,
Uh-huh.
make it feel welcoming.
Okay, so we've got prepping the house and staging.
Right.
What about marketing?
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice anything different about how they marketed this house?
Well, we don't know everything they did,
Right.
but it sold so fast.
Yeah.
So I'm sure the agent had a good plan.
In today's market, you have to have professional photos
Oh, for sure.
and a virtual tour.
Absolutely. Those are essential.
Buyers want to see the house without actually going there.
Right.
But how do you reach the right buyers?
That's where a good agent is so important.
Okay.
They know a lot of buyers and they understand the local market.
Right.
So they can target their marketing to reach the people who would be most interested.
So it's not just about putting a sign in the yard
Right.
and putting it online.
Exactly. You need a strategy to get the right people to see it.
And a good agent can also help with negotiating.
Oh, yeah, for sure. They can help with offers and counteroffers.
Right.
All those little details that can really make a difference.
So again, it comes back to choosing the right agent.
Yeah, it sounds like this homeowner had a great agent who helped them a lot.
Absolutely. And they managed to handle that trust documentation problem,
Yeah, and still close the deal quickly.
which shows how important it is to have someone experienced who can think on their feet
Exactly. Someone who can deal with those unexpected issues.
and keep everything moving forward.
So even when you prepare everything perfectly,
Yeah,
things can still happen.
right.
But having a good team can make a big difference.
They can help you through all the complicated stuff.
Right. And they can look out for your best interests.
Okay. So we've talked about prepping the house,
Oh,
marketing, negotiating,
yeah.
Finding a great agent.
Yeah.
Anything else we can learn from this homeowner?
I was really struck by how personal the whole thing was.
What do you mean?
Remember, they gave some of their personal things to the buyer?
Yeah.
They weren't just selling a house. They were sharing a part of their life.
Like they were passing on something special.
Yeah, like welcoming the new owners into the history of the house.
And I bet that meant a lot to the buyer.
I think so. It creates this connection.
Yeah.
Like a sense of continuing something.
It wasn't just about the money.
Right, it was a human connection.
That's a really nice way to put it.
It reminds us that real estate is about more than just the building itself.
Yeah.
It's about families and memories and lives.
And sometimes that's what makes someone want to buy a house.
That feeling of belonging.
It's the good reminder that sometimes the best thing about a house isn't something you can measure.
Right.
It's the feeling it gives you.
It's about appealing to the heart as much as the head.
So what does all this mean for our listeners who are thinking about selling their homes?
I think it means you need to prepare your house. We'll market it. We'll find a good agent. But don't forget about the feeling.
Yeah.
Share the story of your house. Show its personality.
Okay.
And help buyers see themselves making their own memories there.
That's a great point.
It's a reminder that selling a house is more than just a business deal.
Right.
It's a chance to share a piece of yourself and pass on something meaningful.
And when you see it that way,
Yeah.
you're more likely to find the right buyer.
Exactly, someone who will love your house for what it is.
That's a really beautiful thought.
And on that note, I think we can wrap things up for today.
Okay, so we've learned a lot from this Gaithersburg sale,
Yeah.
but now I want to hear from you, our listener. If you were getting ready to sell your home, what's the one thing you'd focus on based on what we talked about today? Would it be fixing up those little things? Or maybe making sure your house is staged perfectly?
Okay.
Or would you spend all your energy finding the absolute best agent?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
There's no one right answer.
Right.
Every house and every seller is different.
Yeah. But this story really shows that you need to have a plan.
Right.
It's not just about getting lucky.
It's like this homeowner was thinking ahead while everyone else was just reacting.
Right. Every decision they made mattered.
Yeah, from getting the house ready to telling its story.
So that's what our listeners should take away from this.
Take inspiration from this Gaithersburg homeowner,
Okay.
but make it your own.
Right?
Look at your market. See what your house is good at.
Yeah, play to your strengths.
Exactly.
So for some people, that might mean hiring a stager.
Right.
For others, it might mean talking about their house's history,
Uh-huh.
showing off its unique features.
And a good agent can help you figure out what's best for you.
Right. They can help you come up with a plan.
This homeowner's story really shows how important it is to have a good agent.
Someone who knows what they're doing.
Exactly.
So if you're feeling lost or don't know where to begin, talk to a real estate expert.
They can help you figure out your options,
Right.
make good decisions, and understand the market.
Selling a house doesn't have to be scary.
No, not at all.
With the right approach and the right help, it can actually be a good experience.
It can. And you might even end up with your own success story.
Maybe even a YouTube video that inspires us for another deep dive.
You never know.
But really, we hope this conversation about Gaithersburg real estate has given you some new ideas.
Yeah, and a new way of looking at how to sell your home.
We've just scratched the surface today.
But hopefully it's given you some things to think about.
And a way to feel more confident about your own real estate journey.
Remember, knowledge is power.
Especially when it comes to something complicated like real estate.
So keep learning, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
And if you enjoyed this deep dive into Gaithersburg real estate, join us next time when we'll explore a whole new topic with the same insightful approach.
Until then.
Happy selling!